You can start, sir.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Armed Forces Veteran Officers Association of Chennai, it is my proud privilege and honor to welcome Ms. Vishakha Hari. And ma'am, you don't know, I don't know who is what you call more spirited than us veterans or Ms. Vishakha. And you should have joined the military, you know. You would have moved armies with the kind of energy and the josh and the inspiration that you have. It's our honor. And you don't have to say that you are part of us. You're already part of us. And may this country have such inspirational women in our country who can make our nation great. Thank you very much for giving us the honor. Welcome. I also welcome Ms. Nirmala, who is coordinating this meeting today. We look forward to a very interesting morning. There is no time limit, and whenever it's as long as you wish, you may please talk to us. And at the end of it, there will be a question-answer session. Now, I request our members, when Ms. Vishakha starts, kindly mute your audio and switch off your video. You will be able to hear Ms. Vishakha crystal clear. Thank you. I just hand you over to our Secretary, Wing Commander Harshavardhan.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's my proud privilege to welcome our guest speaker for the day, Srimati Vishakha Hari. Welcome to the show, ma'am. This is something which we have been eagerly looking forward to for the last 10 days. I'll now start off with a small introduction about Srimati Vishakha Hari. Not that she requires an intro, but still. Srimati Vishakha Hari is a practitioner of the ancient, beautiful form of art called Harikatha or Katha Kirtan. Herein, she weaves beautiful stories of value and wisdom interspread with mellifluous songs of yesteryear great composers. Her themes are varied and are generally from our great epics and Puranas like the Ramayana and Srimad Bhagavata Purana. She presents Harikathas in Tamil and English and the songs from various languages including Telugu, Kannada, Marathi, Hindi and Sanskrit. Her gurus are Sri Lalgudi Ji Jayaraman, the great violin maestro for music, and Sri Krishna Premi Swamigal and Sri R. Hari for Harikatha. She was initiated into the music right from her childhood years as early as when she was 5 years old. This was truly because of the passion of her parents who are lovers of Indian art and culture. After her marriage with Sri Hariji, she was initiated into the art of Harikatha by her guru and father-in-law, Sri Krishna Premi Swamigal, who is a great Vidwan in Sastras. Blending beautifully both music and Katha, she spreads valuable messages of love and peace throughout the world. She has been awarded with several titles and has raised funds through her programs for several social causes. Having secured the third rank in the final Chartered Accountancy examination, along with an All India first in direct taxes, she is an academician too. Presently, she is guiding children, teenagers, and youngsters to look up to the Indian culture and arts, for which she has been honored as the Distinguished Professor of Oriental Studies and Arts. She and her husband tour all over the world to spread the Indian values and universal peace. She is the founder of the Vijayashri School of Harikatha, a pathashala to promote the art of Harikatha and a medium to promote our culture, values, and dharma. The list of awards that she has been awarded is endless, but I will just quote that she has been awarded the Kalai Mamani Award by the government of Tamil Nadu and the Lifetime Achievement Award by the Bharatiya Bidhavan Chennai, as well as the Karthik Fine Arts. Srimati Vishakha ji is very much a Chennai girl. Having done her education in Chennai, she studied, her schooling was at Rosemary Matriculation Higher Secondary School, followed by her college at the Ethraj College. And now, over the last 15 years, she's shifted her base and she's based at Srirangam. And befittingly, she has been nominated as the Swachh Bharat Ambassador for Trichy. Well, that's in short about our guest speaker for the day, Srimati Vishakha Hari. It's now over to you, ma'am. And after you finish, whenever you finish, we will have a short question and answer session. It's over to you now.
Namaskarams. Start with a Bengali song on our beautiful man. Jago, 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 ma jago. Jago ma kula kundalini, jago ma kula kundalini, tumi nityananda swarupini, tumi brahmananda swarupini, jago ma kula kundalini, tumi nityananda swarupini, tumi brahmananda swarupini, prasopta bhujagakara adara padmavasini, trikone jale trishanu, tapita hole tanu muladhara tajo shive Swayambhu Shiva Veshtini, tumi nityananda swarupini, tumi brahmananda swarupini, dacha sushumnar patha swadhisthane pavudita mani purana Vishuddhagnya sanchari, tumi nityananda swarupini, tumi brahmananda swarupini, jago ma kula kundalini, jago ma kula kundalini, jago ma jago, jago ma jago, jago ma jago. Very happy to be presenting to you all. Jai Bharat, Hail Mother India. First of all, I would say this is a most exciting, inspiring day for me. I've been cherishing this very long desire to meet the armed forces, the army, the navy, the air force of our Matrubhumi, Bharat Desha. For a very long time, since my childhood, I've always wanted to meet the military forces, the soldiers, the real heroes out there. And today, that dream has come true. Just meeting the major wing commanders and the brigadiers and all of you out there just before the meeting, it gives me goosebumps, because every time I sing Endaro Mahanubhavalu by Tyagaraja Swami's Kirtana in Sri Ragam, where he says, Parama Bhagavadamo Nivarashashi Vibhakara Sanaka Sanandana Digesha Surakim Purusha Kadaka Kashipu Sutanara Dumburu Pavana Suru Bala Chandra Tarashuddha Sarvaja Babu Sudavarulo Parama Pavanulu Ganulu Shashvatulu Kamala Bava Sukam Sadanu Babuluga Rendaro Mahanu Ahulu Andarige Vandanamu Yendara Mahanubhavulu. Every time I sing this song, and especially this charana, always I think of Mahanubhavas. To those Mahanubhavas, I do namaskara, Tyagaraja Swami says. Somehow the thought of military soldiers enters my mind every time I sing this charana. Especially because Tyagaraja Swami says, who are the real Mahanubhavas out there? Those who do their duty, those who serve the world, those who serve the nation, like the sun and the moon, expecting nothing. And I think our soldiers out there, veterans like you people, when I read the introduction, doing this program for veterans armed forces of our great Matrubhumi, each one of you is such a great veteran. And I was informed that put together collectively, your service to our motherland is almost 5,000 years of service to our Matrubhumi, which is unimaginable. So every army soldier, military soldier, Air Force, Navy person out there working, serving for our country is a Mahanubhava, true Mahanubhava. And so this keeps, every time I sing this song, it keeps entering my mind. Someday we should meet the armed soldiers out there and do a namaskaras, true namaskara to all of them. And today that wish God has fulfilled, because there is no greater service than serving our Matrubhumi. And more is my pleasure to present Jai Bharat today. I've been asked to present it with along with songs. Of course, there are so many patriotic songs. And incidentally, this is an Independence Day special program because Independence Day is around the corner. And we didn't have any plans before, but it's towards the Independence Day. So as an Independence Day special, we have so many patriotic songs in Bengali, in Gujarati, in Tamil, in Telugu, in Kannada, in Hindi, in Punjabi, in all the various languages, in all the regional languages of India. There are so many kavis, poets who have written beautifully so beautifully about India. And definitely she deserves much, much, much more. Our India is such a supreme nation, such a loving mother, such a caring mother, and who can know this better than you out there? So I thought I would start with this Kannada poet's composition where he says, Janani Janmabhoomi Janani Janmabhoomi Janani Janmabhoomi Janani Janmabhoomi Janani Janmabhoomi Bharati Ninnaya Adigalige Podamaduve Adigalige Bharati Ninnaya Adigalige Podamaduve Adigalige Janani Janmabhoomi Janani Janmabhoomi Janma Janmada Punyada Palavu Karunaya Torida Ulavina Balavu Bandi Hedarage Ninnodalage Koti Koti Jane Sodaranake Janani Janmabhoomi Janani Janmabhoomi Mele Himachala Kaladi Kadalu ಬಂಗಾರದ ನಿಧಿ ತುಂಬಿದೆ ಒಡಲು ಶ್ರೀಗಂಗದ ಸೌಗಂಧವು ತುಂಬೆ ಏನೆಂಬೆನು ನೀ ಸ್ವರ್ಗದ ಬಿಂಬ ಜನನಿ ಜನ್ಮಭೂಮಿ ಜನನಿ ಜನ್ಮಭೂಮಿ. This Kannada poet, he says, Janani, he echoes the words of, in fact, Valmiki's Ramayana, where Rama says, Janani Janmabhumischa Swargadapi Gariyasi. When Vibhishana asks Rama to enter the golden city of Lanka, he says, Vibhishana tells Rama, you have conquered the city of Lanka. Now it is time for you to enter the city and look at the beauty. Such a picturesque landscape it has. And then Rama says, Your Lanka might be a golden city, it could be a diamond city full of precious ratnas and navaratnas. But for me personally, Janani and Janma Bhumischa Swargadapi Gariyasi. Janani Janma Bhumischa Swargadapi Gariyasi. For me, my mother and my motherland, Ayodhya, is supreme, most supreme, more supreme than even Swarga, than even paradise, than even heaven. Even Amaravati or Alakapuri cannot satisfy me because I'm not a bhogi, I'm a yogi. I'm a true patriot. I want to go back to my motherland. I want to go back to my mother. So here this poet also says, Janani, Janmabhumi, Bharati Ninnaya Adigalige, Amma, Bharati Devi, Bharata Desha, motherland. I want to just lie at your feet. Ninnaya Adigalige, I just want to lie at your feet peacefully. I just want to lie, sleep on your lap peacefully. Janma Janmada Punyada Palavu. Even this Malayali poet Pundanam says, Bharada Kanda Tingal Pirannoru Manudarkum Kalikum Namaskaram. In Malayala, he says, everybody born in Bharata, I do a namaskara for them, especially the soldiers and the armed forces out there, all of you out there, the veterans listening to. In fact, it should be the other way around. You should be talking to me and I should be listening. We all should be listening. And soon that day also will come true. But for a change, this is the reverse. Janma Janmada Punyada Palavu. We should have done so much of Punya Pala to be born in this beautiful India, this beautiful Bharata Desha. And here he says, Koti Koti Jana Sodara Renage. I have millions and millions of brothers and sisters. That's what I was talking when we were just talking to Major Harshavardhan ji just right now. When Abhinandan ji was really trapped, everybody became his sister, everybody became his brother, everybody became Abhinandan ji's mother and father. And this poet here says, Koti Koti Jana Sodara Renage, not just one or two. All the crores of people out there are my brothers and sisters. And this beautiful mother nation, Melehimachala Kaladi Kadalu. She's a beautiful lady. He says, draping a colorful sari in the form of different colorful states. Karnataka, Andhra, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Punjab, Gujarat, Maharashtra, Uttar Pradesh, Kashmir. Everything, every state out there has a different color. Different regions, different religions, different food, different tastes, different flavor, different dresses. But still, Mera Bharat Mahan. Mere Himachala Kaladi Kadalu, Bangarada Nidhi Tumbide Odalu. I'm taking up a cue from this. Vivekananda Swami goes to say, she is a beautiful woman. She, meaning Bharat Desha, beautifully draping a colorful sari in the form of different states. And she is a reservoir of the greatest seers, saints, philosophers like Shankara, Basava, Vivekananda. And these are her true abharanas, the true rubies and the gems decorating India. It's not the golden mines in the different regions or states, but true gold, true Navaratnas are Shankara Basava Vivekanalavu, Pavanavu Saubhagyada Palavu, Janani Janmabhumi, Janani Janmabhumi. May you give me birth again and again and again and again in this beautiful Mathrubhumi, India. Savira Janmavu Bandare Barali Taye Ninnaya Madile Nagirali, that I might lie on your lap. Ninnaya Janana Ninnale Marana. I want a birth in you and I want to die only in you. On your lap, I want to die on your lap. Yennaya Jivanat Ninage Sharana. I offer my Jivan, I offer my whole life at your feet. I surrender to you, O Mother. This poet says, I somehow felt it really so emotional. If I need to be born again and again, I need to be born in India. I need to die for India, die in India, die for India. And I think this is what you have all been doing, veterans. So I thought I would start with this song, which would befit as a tribute to all of you, the veterans armed forces of our great motherland. Such is my happiness. So today I have been asked to present a few stories about the heroic women of our ancient Indian past. Because generally heroism is associated with males. But I just now saw Brigadier Muthulakshmi ji. I was happy to see a female in Brigadiers also. Today, this is not a new concept, in fact, because we've had queens, so many queens ruling Indian kingdoms, warriors, female warriors fighting for our nation. Even maids of those queens have sacrificed, have done so much of balidan. Desh ke liye, sab kuch diya. They have given everything. They had sacrificed. There were maids who sacrificed their own children to protect the children of the kings, like Pannadai. There are so many women out there. And as Sri Krishna really puts to Arjuna, Dharmyadi yuddhat shreyonyat kshatriyasya na vidyate. When Arjuna just puts down his Gandiva and says, I'm not going to fight. Fighting is wrong. Then Krishna says, who said fighting is wrong? Who said fighting is wrong? To establish ahimsa, you need himsa. Only if the doctor takes the knife and does a surgery, he can cure the patient. Similarly, only if the military soldiers stand at the frontiers, at the boundaries, we can do a lecture here happily sitting at home in the comfort of our homes. So we owe every bit of our freedom, every bit of the breath of free air that we breathe to the military soldiers out there standing at the frontiers and the borders. So Krishna says, so my Guru always, Guru Sri Krishna Premi Swami, fondly called as Sri Anna, always gives this example. To establish ahimsa, we need to have himsa at the frontiers only if they guard, always alert with their weapons, with their ayudas. Can there prevail ahimsa throughout the nation? So through himsa, establishing ahimsa is the true dharma sukshma and not just giving up everything. So dharmyad yuddhat shreyonyat kshatriyasya na vidyate. Krishna says, Uttishta Bharata, where did this kayarta, I think that is the best word. Hindi word comes best here, suited. You cannot be a coward. You have to fight for your nation. You are fighting not against your guru. You're fighting not against your tata, your grandfather. You're fighting for dharma. You're fighting against adharma. So wherever we think there is some injustice going, then I think yuddhaya krita nishchaya. Stand up and be determined to fight as per Krishna's words. So there can be no better dharma. There can be no better welfare to the society than the preservation and protection of our Matrabhumi. And this, so many women queens, women warriors, even maid servants of such women queens have done. I have had the privilege of translating such great balidan, such great sacrifices that so many women have done. This is actually a work by my Guru, Sri Krishna Premi Swami. It's called Sati Vijayam. It was written in Tamil. It covers women of different genres, like right from the Vedic women, the Bhakti cult women, then the Rishi Patnis, and out of it, almost 40, 50 queens. He's covered 103 women. Almost 40 to 50 is completely as a tribute to the women who sacrificed their lives for our Bharata. And that Sati Vijayam, book on 103 women, had the privilege of translating it into iconic Indian women into English. The iconic Indian women is a translation into English, adapted translation of my Guru's works. So I have been asked to present a few of the stories, 3-4 stories of such great women, just glimpse, not of the already known stories. We all know only about Rani Jhansi Bai, Lakshmi Bai or Jhansi, or perhaps Rani Padmavati. But there are thousands of Rani Lakshmi Bais, thousands of Ranis out there like Padmavati who have sacrificed their lives and history doesn't even recognize their names. So I thought it is high time that we give credit to women queens and women warriors who have equally, like the male kings and the male warriors, they have done so much to our Bharata, our freedom that we are experiencing today. So starting with the first beautiful incident of Nayaki Devi and Kurma Devi. Can we have the slide on? So Nayaki Devi and Kurma Devi, the deadly combination, mother and daughter. We always have seen mothers bringing up daughters, say, we always think that the ancient past women were always brought up timidly, very shy type, very coy, they were taught none of the martial arts. Everything is just a farce. This Nayaki Devi, we can have the slide on for a few more seconds, Nirmalaji. This Nayaki Devi was a queen who was born in Goa. Nayaki Devi was born in Goa and she was wedded to a Gujarati king, Solanki king. And this king took her away to Gujarat, as was the general custom. She became a widow there. She became the widow of the Solanki king because Ajaypala, the Solanki king, was defeated by Muhammad Ghori. But the beauty is, this Nayaki Devi, who was born in Goa, she defeated Muhammad Ghori's troops at the foothills of Mount Abu. She fought against Muhammad Ghori, and Ghori's forces, along with Muhammad Ghori, they fled away from Gujarat. This is noted in a grantha called Prabandha Chintamani. Prabandha Chintamani is a work which mentions how Nayaki Devi fought relentlessly, how courageously she fought near the foothills of Mount Abu, and how Ghori fled. And he had to, next time he entered India, he said, I'm not going to enter through Gujarat. There is that deadly lioness queen there, Nayaki Devi. I am scared of that woman. I'm not going to enter India through Gujarat. So let me find some other pass, some other way to enter Bharata Desha. That was the kind of fear that she instilled, that widowed queen of Gujarat, Nayaki Devi. Do we even know her name in history? Today, students know only that Indians were defeated by the Ghoris and the Ghaznavis. But do we know that a woman gave him a befitting defeat? And then the beauty comes later. Nayaki Devi had a daughter called Kurma Devi. She's also called Karma Devi. People say that's a misspelling, but that is not important. The real story, the essence is what is important. We fight over all which is not wanted and we leave the essence. So this Kurma Devi, she was married to Samar Singh. Samar Singh's second wife was Kurma Devi. Now, Samar Singh had to fight against Muhammad Ghori's forces again. Muhammad Ghori was not gone, I told you. He had to fight. And again, this Samar Singh was also killed by Muhammad Ghori. Now, what happens? Muhammad Ghori's forces are so happy. Now, Samar Singh dies. His first wife, Prita Bai, she commits Jauhar. Kurma Devi, the daughter of Nayaki Devi, she says, I'm not going to commit Jauhar. I'm going to give Muhammad Ghori a befitting reply like my mother. I have my mother who inspired me. So she started ruling the kingdom. Now, when she started ruling the kingdom, she was wedded to Samar Singh of Mewar, Rajasthan. Nayaki Devi belonged to Gujarat, and Kurma Devi was wedded to Samar Singh of Mewar, Chittor. So now the Rajput soldiers were very kind of apprehensive, hesitant, or madri weak. They felt weak and timid. Kurma Devi just looked at the Rajput soldiers and she just commanded them, why are you all sitting like this? As if you've lost everything. In fact, she had lost Samar Singh. She had lost Prita Bai. But she is roaring like a lioness. And she says, why are you sitting as if everything is doomed? We will all go for a fight. And then the Rajputs say, we are not valuing our lives more than this country. We value this country, the maximum, the best. But we don't have a leader. We don't have a proper commander. Now, I was happy to meet so many major wing commanders there. We need a commander, right, for a Sena. So who will command us? Who will lead us? And then Kurma Devi looks at them and, don't you think I can lead? Don't you think I'm fit enough to lead you all? Then she mounts the horse, roars to the warriors. I'm leading the army. You will all see that I am going to fight them single-handedly, and I'm going to destroy Muhammad Ghori's forces. Whoever wants to come with me can come. Others can just sit at home. And the whole Sena, the whole army was so enthusiastic, were so inspired by her words that they all looked upon her like Durga Mata, like Chamundi, like Kali, like Bhadrakali. The Rajput army was rejuvenated, in fact. They became so enthusiastic by the fiery speech. They all met Qutbuddin Aibak, Muhammad Ghori's army general. They couldn't meet Muhammad Ghori, but they met Qutbuddin Aibak. That's why the slide says Naiki Devi and Kurma Devi, who defeated Muhammad Ghori and Qutbuddin Aibak. So they met this lady, Kurma Devi. She met Qutbuddin Aibak, and with lightning speed, she was wreaking havoc everywhere. Wherever she turned, there were just dead bodies. Dead bodies of Mughal soldiers just fell. The whole enemy army got disintegrated, and nothing was left much. They all ran. During that mounting duel, Kurma Devi, she buried deep her sword into Qutbuddin Aibak's flesh. And he tumbled from the saddle, from the horse, he fell. Everybody thought he was dead. And the whole army force fled back. They ran back. But unfortunately, he wasn't dead. But then there was this mother-daughter combination giving Ghori's and Qutbuddin Aibak's a huge, deadly fight. Ghori ran away because of her mother, Naiki Devi, and Qutbuddin Aibak was hugely hurt, injured, and he was almost dead because of Kurma Devi. So this kind of fearlessness, this kind of courage, we've had Indian women, Indian queens in the past. So many years back, they've been able to rule kingdoms like Ahalya Bai. She ruled Indore. In fact, she spent so many crores of rupees to build dharamshalas and bathing ghats throughout India. I can give you a huge list of almost 50 to 60 dharamshalas, boarding, lodging centers, and temples that she has built right from Kasi Vishwanath temple, Ayodhya, Vrindavan, Mathura, everywhere. It was Ahalya Bai who built everything out of her personal funds. And it was Ahalya Bai who made Indore such a beautiful kingdom. So we have had such great queens who have ruled kingdoms, queens who have made their enemies, made the foreign invaders flee from the battleground completely. And the next story I would like to present is Vidyalata's story. Completely different kind of story. You can see that it's a breaking news. Vidyalata's story itself is a breaking news because it's a story that not many of us would have heard. It was the period of Alauddin Khilji. Vidyalata was a very beautiful lady. She was the daughter of a particular army general in Rajasthan. And there was another army general's son who was called Samar Singh again, not this Samar Singh whom we were referring to previously. This is an army general's son, Samar Singh. They were both completely in love. Vidyalata loved Samar Singh and Samar Singh loved Vidyalata. It was a perfect match. Both of them looked completely perfect for each other, made for each other. Vidyalata was a very beautiful lady and Samar Singh too was handsome. Both of them were daughters and sons of army generals. So the Nishchidartha, the betrothal was over. And it was at this time that war broke. It was Alauddin Khilji's forces this time. So now Samar Singh was totally hesitant because the arrangements for the marriage were going on in full speed. And he was just waiting to get married to Vidyulata. They were deadly in love with each other. And we say true love is blind, right? This is a story where you will see in the end whether true love is blind or not. That is the heading that we have given. I translated this book along with my colleague, who is my guru's devotee, Srimati Kausalya Veeravalli. So you can see the chapter's heading there, True Love is Not Blind. That would be the chapter's name there. So actually what happens is, he says, I won't go to war. Then Vidyulata says, no, how can you do that? A Rajput warrior saying will not go to war. It's absolutely unacceptable. You just go to war. Don't get afraid. All my blessings and prayers are there for you. Of course, I will miss you and you will miss me. But this is the duty, the foremost duty. And you have to go to war. Incidentally, I wanted to tell something. When I always think of Enduru Mahanubhavulu, I told you I think of the military soldiers. More so, I would think of the parents of the soldiers and the family of the soldiers, the children, the wives of the soldiers, because the sacrifice that the family of that particular soldier makes, that is much, much more than the soldier's sacrifice itself. Because with bated breath, every wife waiting for her husband to return from the battleground. I just heard some of them fought in the Indo-Pak War, the Kargil War, the China War, and so many other wars. So every time the person out there goes to the battleground, the wife, the mother, the father, the children, the sacrifice that they make is tremendous. So here Vidyulata says, I'll be waiting for you with bated breath. Samar Singh leaves. Vidyulata definitely, she loved so much. She loves Samar Singh so much. She waits day and night for him. She's not able to sleep properly. She's not able to eat properly. So she cries and longs for him. And so is the same. Samar Singh is not able to fight properly, but still he's fighting from the part of the Rajput. He's fighting against Alauddin Khilji's forces. Vidyulata was just wandering in the garden. Suddenly, somehow she saw Samar Singh in the garden. What is this I'm seeing? Is it Samar Singh in the garden? This story also is in Hindu Punch. This whole Hindi translation. चित्तौड़ में समर सिंह इस उद्यान में कब आया? तो युद्ध चल रहा है, कैसे हो सकता है? That is the kind of surprise. How could he be here? And then Samar Singh suddenly stands before Vidyulata and he says, Vidyulata, देखो मैं आया. कैसे? You must be in the battle front now. How did you come? I'm not able to live without you. तुम्हारे बिना जी नहीं सकता हूँ. So I cannot leave you. I cannot live without you. And I'm waiting to be united with you. Let's get married. This Alauddin Khilji's force is just unbearable. You cannot beat it. It's so mighty. It's so huge. We cannot put a match at all. We have to either flee away from Chittor, from Rajasthan. I think it's better we all run away. And then Vidyulata stares at him and she gives him just that blank look. Do you think I will get married to a Rajput warrior who flees away from the battleground? All along I was crying. I won't tell you I was not crying. I was crying, but in the heart of the hearts, I was proud that I was going to be married to such a courageous Rajput warrior. But running away from the battleground to see a lover, how silly, how stupid you can be. This is the reaction from the woman's side. Just look at the other way around. So, कैसे कर सकता है? आप तो कायर नहीं है. Don't even look at my face without finishing the battle. This is my final ultimate word. Samar Singh questions her again. don't you love me, Vidyulata? Don't you love me? I love you, but I love my motherland more than yourself. Look at the answer that she gives. She was so longing to get married to Samar Singh, but she says, I love you, but I love my motherland more than anything else, more than myself, more than my personal love, more than you. I love India. I love my Matribhumi. Such is the greatness of Bharatadesha. Samar Singh understood that she was not going to meet him until the war was over. So his mind worked crooked the other way. He had other devious plans. So how do I sustain my life? How do I live to meet Vidyulata was the only thing that could really go in his mind. How could I live? I would not be living if I was fighting from the part of the Rajput forces. I have to get married to Vidyulata. I have to get united to her. She's such a beauty. That was the only thing in his mind. What did he do? He joined Alauddin Khilji's forces. He joined the enemy forces and he started fighting against his own brethren. He taught them all the tricks, how to conquer the Rajput forts, and completely, such a Vishwasghati, he joined Alauddin Khilji's forces and completely defeated the Rajput kingdom. And now he enters the fort of Vidyulata, the palace of Vidyulata. Vidyulata looks at the Samar Singh from a distance. She's just puzzled. I just heard that Alauddin Khilji's forces won and our troops lost. How is Samar Singh alive? And even if he is entering this fort, he should be entering as a captive. How is he entering like this, completely free, like a king? It didn't take her much time to understand. It didn't take her time to understand that he had switched sides. Well, switching sides for political parties today, it's not new. We have had so many Vishwasghatis in the previous past. So she understood. And even before he could come and he was about to touch her, Nirmalaji, can you play the slide again? If you look at this photo, this picture, he was about to touch Vidyulata and tell her, everything I have done is for your sake, for nothing else. It's for your sake that I have done. He was just trying to tell her before even he could touch her. Vidyulata says, your hand, your finger shall not touch me. You're a traitor. I no more love you. I cannot love the traitor of Bharatadesha. I cannot be the wife of a Vishwasghati of Bharatadesha. And she takes the sword and stabs herself, lest she might be forced into marrying Samar Singh. Vidyulata ka balidan. She kills herself. Why? Because she doesn't want to live as the lover of a traitor. She doesn't even want the name to, she doesn't even want her name to get associated with Samar Singh because he became a Vishwasghati. He tries to stop her. But before that, everything was so quick. Look at her, killing herself, stabbing herself in her throat. He tries to stop her, but she did not want even his fingers to touch him. That was the amount of love and passion that Indian women truly had for India, our motherland. And the next picture, actually by the side of it, you can see Rani Jhansi fighting with her infant child tied to her back. In fact, that is not in our list, but incidentally, we can see that picture. Look at Rani Jhansi fighting with a small child, infant child, maybe 2 or 3 year old, tied to her back as a mother, as a queen, as a warrior, as a lover of India. So these stories, even to tell them, I think every time I read this story, every time I even looked at that picture, I was just wondering if people like this could have lived. Or if you don't see the picture, some people might be saying all this is an exaggeration because today's citizens, today's Indian younger generation, I think most of the younger generation, their only goal is to get to the US or get to Australia. Going to the other foreign lands is not a problem, but even then, wherever you are, spreading Indian culture, spreading the Indian flavor, spreading the Indian heritage. I think being proud of being an Indian is that feeling that we should have. Today we are experiencing free India, independent India, but is that Indian spirit there in Indian citizens? In India, every Indian citizen, whether living in India or outside India, is that Indian spirit truly there with us? Do we really feel proud to call ourselves Indians? That's why veteran armed forces, I said I wanted to do a namaskarams to you right at the beginning, addressing this towards veterans. This is, I think, going through YouTube live also. But this is a reiteration. We need to tell us 100 times, Ani Adichamari, I must be proud to belong to India. Such has been the balidan of such great people. That is why Bharath sings, Parukulle nalla naadu, Parukulle nalla naadu, Inga Parukulle nalla naadu, Inga Parukulle nalla naadu, Inga Bharat naadu, Bharat naadu, Parukulle nalla naadu, Inga Bharat naadu, Bharat naadu, Parukulle nalla naadu, Inga Bharat naadu, Bharat naadu, Parukulle nalla naadu. Jnanatile para monatile, Jnanatile para monatile, Guyar manatile, Annadanatile, Jnanatile para monatile, Guyar manatile, Annadanatile, Ganatile, Amuda Gadinda, Ganatile, Amuda Gadinda, Kavidaile, Uyanadi, Parukulle nalla naadi, Dhiratile padai viratile, 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 Nenjil viratile, Upakaratile, Nenjil viratile, Upakaratile, Saratile, Nidle Satinam Kalde, Saratile, Nidle Satinam Kalde, Taruadile, Uyanadile, Indaya, Parukulle nalla naadu, Inga Bharat naadu, Bharat naadu, Parukulle nalla naadu, Inga Bharat naadu, Yagatile tava vegatile, Yagatile tava vegatile tani, yogatile palabogatile, agatile deiva bhakti gundatam, arulinile uyanadi, Indaya Parukulle nalla naadu, Inga Parukulle nalla naadu, Indaya Parukulle nalla naadu, nalla naadu. Padukulle nalla naadu. I think this is the lesson we have to teach all our children. Padukulle nalla naadu. That is what Subramanya Bharatiyar says. Veerathile, in courage. Ade veerathile. I'm talking this to the veterans. You must be, you're all living examples, living legends. Nenjil Veerathile. In the compassion that Indian kings have shown. If Prithviraj Chauhan, if we say Muhammad Ghazni came 17 times, how could he have come 17 times if Prithviraj Chauhan did not leave him every time? Nenjil Veerathile, so much of compassion. Do we really require so much of compassion? Upakaratile, Saratile, Migu Satiram Kandi, Yagatile, Yogatile, Bogatile, Palabogatile, Deva Bhakti, Bhakti ile, in everything. I think India is the supreme nation. That is why Vivekananda Swami, I would like to quote his words exactly. He says, our sacred motherland is the birthplace of spiritual giants, where the highest ideals of life are open to man, and each nation has a theme. That is, each nation has an identity. Let's say US, then the bombs, the nuclear missiles, perhaps could be the identity of that particular nation. Each nation, nowadays, the virus has become the identity of some other nation. So, our identity, India's identity, what theme does our nation have? India's theme is always culture, heritage, sampradaya, art, tradition, along with courage. And my Guru Sri Anna would always say, if we consider this whole world as one house, as one huge palatial bungalow, then our Bharata Desha will be the puja room. In the whole world, if it is considered as one whole house, Bharata Desha will be the puja griha. So, Vivekananda Swami quotes again, shall India die? India means the Indian spirit of spirituality, of culture, of heritage, of sampradaya. Shall Indian spirit die? Then from the whole world, all spirituality will become extinct. And all ideality will be extinct. That is what is happening today. The Indian spirit, the culture, that Indian ethos, Indian way of dressing, Indian way of eating, Indian way of living. People are ashamed to do it because they think that the Western way of living, Western way of dressing, Western way of eating is the fashionable, most very sophisticated and good-looking way, the smartest way, the coolest way. But he says to many, Indian thought, Indian manners, Indian customs, Indian philosophy, Indian literature might be repulsive at the very first sight. But if we become familiar with it, with the great principles that underlie these ideas, then the Indian charm will come over us, and the fascination that we experience will be total bliss, just slow and silent as the gentle dew that falls in the morning, that's unseen, that's unheard, but it produces the most tremendous result. Beautiful words of Vivekananda. So he says, if the Indian spirit, if this spirit is lost, then in its place will rule, the whole ruler will be the two deities. Instead of Perumal Dayar, we call them, instead of them, if spirituality, if the Indian spirit is lost, then the ruling deities will be dual deities, duality of lust and luxury. They will be the male and female deities. Who will be the archaka? Who will be the priest? Money will be the priest. And what will be the ceremonies, rituals, yaga and yoga that have to be done? Fraud, force and competition will be the ceremonies. And what Balidan has to be done? Human soul has to be sacrificed. What do we answer our Antaryami, Antaryatma? When every military soldier goes out to war, he says, I'm proud of going to war. His wife also does the Veera Tilaka, and she sends that soldier happily, and she says, go back, go and come back with the triumphant news, go and come back with the Digvijaya news. So that is the Indian spirit, and I think soon it has to return back to every Indian, that Indian ethos. So another next slide, we have a typical similar example of, very similar to Vidyulata, that is Hadi Rani's story. Hadi Rani also was a beautiful queen like Vidyulata. I took these two examples to show you that there were queens like Kurma Devi and Nayaki Devi who were doers and warriors fighting on the battlefield. There were also other women who were inspiring their men to fight at even the cost of their lives. This Hadi Rani was the daughter of Hada Rajput, and she was married to Chudavanta. Chudavanta was a Chundavat ruler, Rawat Chundavat. Okay, Rawat Chundavat, chieftain of Salumbar. They were just married. Unlike Vidyulata, they were not married. She was a lover. But the true love did not become blind. True love does have a vision. True love of an Indian woman does have a vision that Vidyulata showed. Here, Hadi Rani was married to this Chundavat ruler, Rawat Chundavat, chieftain of Salumbar. But as soon as they were married, immediately he had to go to war. It was Aurangzeb's reign. Now, the first one was Muhammad Ghori and Qutbuddin Aibak, then Alauddin Khilji, then we are talking of Aurangzeb's rule. So, Ratan Singh of Chundavat clan was going for this Yuddha, and Rawat Chundavat was also called. Hadi Rani was in fact proud that Ratan Singh himself had called for the chieftain of Salumbar. He had given so much of importance. So, this Rawat Chundavat is such a great warrior. Chundavat said, I'm not going for war because just now we got married. It's not even been a couple of days. And then Hadi Rani says the same words as Vidyulata, and she says, no way. My personal pleasure or my personal happiness is not important. I can wait. Don't worry. You go to war. I'll keep praying. He leaves. This is a little different story. He leaves, but then totally hesitant, he stops. At the entrance of the palace, he stops, keeps looking back with that kind of a longing, yearning feeling. How do I see you, Hadi Rani? That kind of a feeling. So then he sends his messenger and he says, please fetch some memento from my queen, Hadi Rani. So this messenger goes to Hadi Rani and she says, why are you back? No, the chieftain, Chundavat, Rawat Chundavat wants a memento from you. She immediately understood what was stopping him from doing his duty, what was stopping him from discharging his duty. What was it? Her beauty. Her beauty was stopping him from discharging his duty. What did she do? She just chopped off her head, put it on a plate, gave it to the messenger. She just chopped off her, you can see that, her head on a plate. The messenger takes it back to Rawat Chundavat, and he was completely in tears when he saw that this was the memento. And he understood that Hadi Rani was a more courageous lady than himself. She wanted him to fight for the Matribhumi. So immediately he takes the hair. She had a lot of huge plaited hair. So he takes that memento, ties the head of Hadi Rani, that head alone, he ties it around his neck with his plait, and then he goes to war. He fights so brilliantly that Aurangzeb's forces are defeated. But then after defeating Aurangzeb's forces, he just looks at Hadi Rani's head and then he cries and says, I have won the war, but I want to unite at least in heaven. So now I have made you happy. I'm coming to you, Hadi. And then he kills himself to get united. We've heard of only the jawhars of the women to get united with the men. Here, there is a jawhar of a man wanting to get united with the woman out there. So this is completely fascinating. He kills himself and then he says, everything for you, Hadi. So this way, Hadi made she was the instrument behind the victory of that chieftain of Salumbar. This is all not an exaggeration. 1968, Alahana Halli Sri Krishna has written a poem named Hadi Rani. And even today, in the district of Tonk, you can see Boris are step wells, no? Step wells. They are built in her name. Hadi Rani's name has been kept for the Boris in the Tonk districts. So this, many more stories. We can go on and on and on. Next one is quickly going through Hamir, how the wife of Hamir Singh. The next slide. All of you would have heard of the Sisodia dynasty. Sisodia dynasty was established by Hamir Singh. Actually, Sisodia is a village near Nathadwara. Nathadwara, Srinathji stands beautifully, no? So near Nathadwara, this Sisodia is a village. Lakshman Singh was a particular king who belonged to that village. Lakshman Singh was a distant kinsman of Rawal Ratan Singh. He had to go for war along with Rawal Ratan Singh. He was killed by the forces of Alauddin Khilji. Alauddin Khilji killed not only Rawal Ratan Singh, we have heard of that story. Lakshman Singh was killed. Lakshman Singh's son Ari was also killed, and Ari had an infant boy called Hamir Singh. This Hamir grew up in the forests. His only aim was to somehow re-establish the Dharmik Rajya, take away the Rajya from Alauddin Khilji. They all belong to the Mewat state in Rajasthan. So Alauddin Khilji, meanwhile, he had made a puppet king, Maldev. Maldev was the puppet king. Alauddin Khilji paid him a lot of riches. He gave him a lot of money, and he was just a puppet king. Maldev was completely submissive to Alauddin Khilji. So Hamir was waiting for a time when he could attack Maldev and oust him out, throw him out of that particular kingdom. Just then he received this news that Maldev's daughter wants to get married only to Hamir Singh. Hamir Singh thought, why to fight? Anyway, if he becomes a son-in-law, whole kingdom comes to his own hand. So he accepted the invitation. Happily, he comes to Chittaur because he wants to see the place also where his ancestors, where his grandfather Lakshman Singh lived. And there he sees that there is no festivity. Kalyana Kartina, decorations should be there. No kind of torina, no kind of ceremonies, no kind of alankara, nothing is done. He's completely puzzled and more amazed. They just exchanged garlands. Amir Singh's daughter, she is called Songari. Sri Anna calls her Kamalini because in other texts there are two names, Kamalini and Songari. The Songari, they exchanged garlands, and it was such a simple marriage. What is happening for the corona marriages? Just like that. Nothing at all. Nobody, even the next door neighbor should not come. That is how that is happening right now. So there were no guests, no pomp and show. The marriage was over before it began. On that night, just imagine what happened. No one can imagine. Songari fell at Hamir Singh's feet. She started crying. Hamir Singh said, what happened? Why are you crying? Aren't you happy with this marriage? She said, this whole marriage is a farce. I've been treacherously given in marriage to you. I'm already married. I'm an already married woman. That was a huge insult in those days. She says, he asked, how come, where is your husband? I do not remember my marriage. I was married when I was a child. In those days, child marriages were very common. My husband, when I was a child, he died. I don't remember the face of my husband nor the marriage, but I know that I am already a married girl. Now, Hamir Singh, that was an insult. He was not at all informed of that. But he felt only pity, and he was proud that Songari immediately had told him everything. He wouldn't have come to know about it at all. But he wanted to take revenge against Maldev for having cheated him. Now, immediately Songari said, don't you worry. She told Hamir Singh, don't you worry. I don't support my father. Even if he is my father, I can tell you fearlessly, but that I go only by dharma. I go only by my conscience. That is why I have spilled out all the truth to you. I will help you fight against my own father and establish the Sisodia dynasty. This was the word that this Kamalini alias Songiri tells Hamir Singh. So Hamir Singh fights against his father-in-law with the support of Songari, and he becomes the progenitor of Sisodia. He outs Maldev, and Alauddin Khilji's forces are defeated. He becomes the king of Rajasthan, and this Hamir gave a shocking defeat to Muhammad bin Tughlaq also. All of this he did it with the support of his wife Songari. And he treated her with so much honor. And so behind all this, there was this lady, like Jijabai, Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaja's mother Jijabai. She went against her own father, Yadav Rao, because he was supporting the foreign invaders. Just like Vibhishana leaving Ravana and going to the side of Rama. Whether it is your brother or your mother or your father or your family, be on the side of Dharma. That is what these queens show. Jijabai or Kamalini, Songari, all these people, Vidyulata, Hadi Rani, Naiki Devi, Kurma Devi, all of them. And the next one, we think that Jauhar, the first Jauhar, began maybe around the 16th century. And all that we know is Padmavati Rani's Jauhar. But I can tell you that there was a Rani Bai. The next slide, Nirmalaji. The queen who really committed the first Jauhar, she didn't just die immediately after she was defeated. You know whom she fought against? This ancient story of Sindh. Nobody would have heard of it even. King Dahir. This is King Dahir. And that is Muhammad bin Qasim. This is King Dahir and that is Muhammad bin Qasim. This Caliph of Arabia in 711 CE, as early as the 8th century, I'm talking of an 8th century story. As early as the 8th century, the Caliph of Arabia from Baghdad, they sent a warship to conquer Sindh, and Dahir, who was ruling Sindh, was conquered, was defeated, was killed at the Battle of Arur on the banks of River Sindh. His head was cut off from his body and sent to some Yusuf. This was informed to Rani Bai. This was informed to Rani Bai, who was the wife of King Dahir. Immediately, you know what her reaction was? She was informed that King Dahir's head was cut off from the body and sent to Yusuf. She was such a daring lady. This is an 8th century story that I'm telling you. Fighting against the Arabs with 15,000 troops from her fort of Rawar. She challenged Muhammad bin Qasim. She fought and fought and fought. And when she understood that there was no way she could win, that point of time, she was almost one of the first women who lit the huge funeral pyre and did the first. And if you search the Google or the Wikipedia for the first Jauhar, maybe it will give the 16th century stories. But I can tell you, this is an 8th century where Rani Bai fought against, after the death of King Dahir of Sindh, she fought against Muhammad bin Qasim. And when they were about to enter the Antapura, the harem, and snatch away the young women and the ladies, they all did the sati to save the honor, their honor. This was not an act of cowardice, but was an act of bravery to save their honor and the honor of the country. So these are all stories which actually aren't even noted in history. The epic Chachnama talks of Rani Bai and his daughters also, Surya, Premal. They're all personifications of the ancient Sindh culture. So I wanted to give you a really ancient story of the ancient Sindhu Samaveli Nagarigam Solro, yes, Sindh culture. So such have been the greatness that Bharata Samudaya Valgave வாழ்க வாழ்க பாரத சமுதாயம் வாழ்கவே. 30 கோடி ஜனங்களின் சங்கம் முழுமைக்கும் பொது உடைமை. 30 கோடி ஜனங்களின் சங்கம் முழுமைக்கும் பொது உடைமை. ஒப்பிலாத சமுதாயம் உலகத்துக்கு ஒரு புதுமை. இந்த உலகத்துக்கு ஒரு புதுமை. இந்த உலகத்துக்கு ஒரு புதுமை. ஜெய பாரத சமுதாயம் வாழ்கவே. வாழ்க வாழ்க பாரத சமுதாயம் வாழ்கவே. வழக்கமினி உண்டோ மனிதர் உணவை மனிதர் பறிக்கும் வழக்கம் இனி உண்டோ? மனிதர் உணவை மனிதர் பறிக்கும் வழக்கம் இனி உண்டோ? மனிதர் நோக மனிதர் பார்க்கும் வாழ்க்கை இனி உண்டோ? நம்மில் இந்த வாழ்க்கை இனி உண்டோ? புலனில் வாழ்க்கை இனி உண்டோ? ஜெய பாரத சமுதாயம் வாழ்கவே. வாழ்க வாழ்க பாரத சமுதாயம் வாழ்கவே. இனி ஒரு விதி செய்வோம், அதை எந்த நாளும் காப்போம். இனி ஒரு விதி செய்வோம், அதை எந்த நாளும் காப்போம். தனி ஒருவனை கொடுவில்லை எனில் ஜகத்தினை அழித்திடுவோம். இந்த ஜகத்தினை அழித்திடுவோம். இந்த ஜகத்தினை அழித்திடுவோம். வாழ்க வாழ்க பாரத சமுதாயம் வாழ்கவே. வாழ்க வாழ்க பாரத சமுதாயம் வாழ்கவே. பாரத சமுதாயம் பாரத சமுதாயம் பாரத சமுதாயம். Again, Subramanya Bharatiyar's song wanted to sing this because he says, Jagattinil, if even one person in this world does not have a meal to feed on, Tani Oruvana Kunavila Yenil, one person does not have enough to really feed on. Jagattine Aritiduvum, we will massacre the entire world. If even one person in the world starves, we will not leave it like this. The Bharata Samudayam, the whole of the Bharata society has to really come up, because she is not just a nation who tolerates all religions. She is a nation who appreciates all religions. Tolerance is different. Appreciation is different. She appreciates all religions. Which other nation in the whole world can boast of a similar nation which appreciates all other religions and all other ideas? And she said, that's why Mayura Vishwanatha Shastri, in his Sanskrit composition, he says, Jayati Jayati Bharata Mata Buddha Gita Nikila Mata Vala Nirata Nata Jana Suhita Jayati 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 Sakala Jiva Samata Sadhu Sadhu Vidita Akila Loka Pratita Paramananda Samudita Jayati 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 Bharata Mata Buddha Gita Nikila Mata Mananirata Nata Jana Suhita Jayati 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 Aganita Gunashila Ati Dayana Vala Prakatita Shobhajana Patita Pranalola Jayati 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 Jai Bharat. When we say Jayati Jayati Bharata Mata, the wise extol Bharata Mata as Nikila Mata Vana Nirata, completely so prosperous, Nata Jana Suhita, always doing welfare. Look at the Indian brain. The Indian brain cannot be compared with any other brain. All people who flourish all over the world, you can see an Indian brain behind it. Even the best of the inventions and technologies right now, you can be rest assured that there is an Indian brain behind it. Sakala Jiva Samata Sadhu Sadhu Vidita Akila Loka Pratita Paramananda Samudita. She gives so much of Paramananda Gunashila, Ati Dayalavala, Shubhajala. Whether it is in Sanskrit, whether it is in Tamil, whether it is Jaguma in Bengali. Man, Bharat Man, Jago. You are Sachidananda Swarupini, Tumi Nityananda Swarupini, Tumi Brahmananda Swarupini. In you, all the people with good qualities. Vaishnava Jana to dene kahiye je, peed parai jaane re. Vaishnava Jana to dene kahiye je, कर दुखे उपकार करे तुए मन अभिमान रे वैष्णव जन तू सकल लोकमान सकुनी वंदे निंदा न करे केली रे अचुताच मनी निश्चले राखे धन धन जननी रे वैष्णव जन तो देने Gujarati. In this Gujarati song, very favorite bhajan of Mahatma Gandhi. So whether it is Bengali or Gujarati or Tamil or Kannada or Telugu or Malayalam song, everywhere we see that this land is filled with so many beautiful, excellent spiritual giants. And because this is for the Veterans Armed Forces, we have taken up a few stories of really courageous, daring ladies, but we can see India from different angles. In fact, I have 2 more slides. Just quickly display them, Nirmala-ji. 2 more slides of Sikh women. One is Mai Bhago. Mai Bhago, if you look at her, she's a Sikh woman. You know who she is? She was actually a very ordinary citizen. She was just walking on the street. She saw some 40 Sikh military warriors running back, leaving the battle because they were severely outnumbered. This, the Khalsa army was passing through Muksar, the battle of Muksar. And then she said, why are you running back? She said, all those Sikh warriors, 40 of the Sikh warriors said, we are severely outnumbered. Khalsa army against the Mughal tyranny, we are not able to match it. So this is actually Battle of Muksar during December 1705. It was between 250 Khalsa warriors and 20,000 Mughal warriors. So the 40 Sikh warriors just ran away. And she said, don't you worry, I will lead the army. She asked one of the male Sikhs to lend his dress. She wore the male outfit, and then almost 4,000 Mughal soldiers were killed by that single lady, Mai Bhago. And she was the only surviving Sikh during the battle. She was the only surviving Sikh during the battle with the sword raised in her hand. The way she fought and the impact that she created. And you know what? After that, she became Guru Gobind Singh's one of the bodyguards. A female protecting a male saint. Guru Gobind Singh's one of the bodyguards was Mai Bhago. These are some of the tidbits information that we can not get anywhere at all in history. So she became one of the bodyguards of Guru Gobind Singh. Such a great personality. Similarly, the last slide, we are just finishing with this. I know it's going to be a very sad incident, but still we need to know that there have been such women. Mir Mannu, alias Muin ul Malik, he was the governor of Lahore in 1752. He ordered the extermination of the Sikhs, beheaded all the Sikh men. Young unmarried girls were sold off, and the married girls, they were taken captive. Their children, the heads of their children were cut and woven into a garland and put around the neck of the child's mother. You can see so many children killed and woven into garlands and then put around the necks of these ladies. You know why? To capture India. But even though we talk of Devaki losing her 6 children, we've had Sikh women losing all their children. In fact, some 400, 500 Sikh women lost their children. And I don't know how many incidents such as this happened elsewhere. This is just in Lahore. But these women, they said, even if you kill our children, we are children of Bharatadesha. We don't lose minding our children, but we won't lose our mother. We won't lose Bharatadesha. Bharata, this Desha is our Mata. This Bharata Bhumi is our mother. We cannot allow invaders to just plunder and loot this country. You do whatever you want. We will not allow you to conquer our nation. That is the kind of real patriotism that these Sikh women, so many, all the religions, they have such great gallant women who fought for our country. That is why Sujalam, Supalam, Malaya Shitalam, Sasya Shamalam, Nataram, Vande Mataram, Vande Mataram, Shubhra Jyotsna Pulakitayamini, Mulla Kusumita Drumadala Shabi, Suhasini, Sumadhura Bhashini, Sukhadham Varadam Mataram, Vande Mataram, Vande Mataram, Vande Mataram, Vande Mataram, Vande Mataram. Namaskarams.
Vishakha ji, thank you so much. I mean, I'm lost for words, to sum up this. You really mesmerize us. Wonderful. I think most of us must be in a trance. Such history, such beautiful history, which most of us, I'm sure, are not aware. And like you described about the Battle of Muxar. Okay, so we were posted. I was posted in a place known as Air Force Station Adampur. Air Marshal Vartman also was me those days in that particular unit. And Muxar is so close to Adampur. And, we were never aware of such historic battle having taken place there. I mean, you have, I'm sure.
Sometimes really emotional, and being in the midst of air marshals and armed forces like you, I don't know, I'm in tears actually. You've all been on site. I'm just giving a lecture, sitting at home in the comfort of a house. But you've all been really in tunnels, in the places, such great sacrifices. I'm so thrilled to have spent this morning with you all.
Your Josh is really unmatched, I would say. Real Josh with which, you talk to us today. And this program, like you said, has been live on YouTube. And I'm sure you're woven a web of patriotism amongst the youngsters of today who have watched it live and would definitely be see the recording later also. Now, with that, I would open the question and answer session. Before that, I will just unmute all.
Sure. I'm waiting to see you all air marshals and wing commanders and all the veterans.
Okay. Now, I think I wanted to ask myself a lot of questions, but I just want, my first question to you is that in your Harikatha, you narrate a lot of stories, the happenings, the instances. How do you gather this information how do you remember them? Are these informations handed down by your gurus, or you do a lot and lots of reading and gain knowledge? How did you go about it?
Most of the Harikathas are from my Guru's Granthas, Sri Anna's Granthas. Like I told you today, almost 3 or 4 stories I've taken from my Guru's Granthas, Sati Vijayam. He has done so much, even 40, 50 years back. I don't know from where he collected this. He personally went to each of the forts in Rajasthan, and he has told me that he saw all those places where the Jauhars had been committed, and all those forts. It seems he used to just sit and cry at the sacrifice that these people have done. So so this information is from Sati Vijayam. I told you the iconic Indian women, which I had the bhagyam. But other Harikathas also, basically it's all from my guru's teachings.
Okay. So now what do you see the future of this Harikatha, especially with this COVID lockdown restrictions? I'm sure you must be missing all your live performance. You must be missing your...
Morning.
So how do you...
Yeah, sir.
Sure.
1 minute. Auntie had a little one episode today, but otherwise she's okay.
Who's that? Kindly mute yourself, please. Now, what do you see the future of this Harikatha, especially with lockdown restrictions? I'm sure you must be missing all your live performance. You must be missing your... Can't make out who's that. Okay, you carry on with the answer. Yeah, please.
I am missing the live performances, but I think the lockdown has opened up into a new world where I think if not for COVID, I don't think I would have met all you Mahatmas, Mahanubhavas. Thanks to COVID, actually, I've been able to meet the Brigadiers and the Majors and the Commanders, and a dream come true. I think COVID has is a blessing in disguise this way. I'm just wishing that actually speaking, live performances, we can reach to 500 to 1,000 people. Nowadays, the virtual world is opening up to thousands and thousands and lakhs of people sometimes. So this way, lockdown is an open up for some, of course, lot of other issues that COVID has caused. Lokakshema kurvantam. I just loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Pray that everybody stays safe and healthy and happy, causing a lot of distress to others. So what is the future of Harikatha is the question you had asked. That is why we have started this Vijayashri School of Harikatha, where all young students are also learning this beautiful art form and my guru's granthas, because he has written so much of information that needs to be passed on to the posterity, which cannot be done through the school curriculum. So we have started this school.
Okay. Okay, one last question from my side before I ask the audience. We always see you attired in your madisare, the 9-yard sari. And any particular reason behind this decision?
After my marriage, this is the general way we dress up in the family. Actually, this was the norm in Tamil Nadu, right? All the norms have become exceptions and exceptions have become norms. So I think that is why this question has been raised. Generally, I'm like this throughout the day. So, but for performances, I'm in the best. That is the only difference. Best of what I have. Otherwise, it's the same thing that I wear. After the family, after my marriage, the family's tradition is this, my mother-in-law, her mother-in-law. So this is the family tradition.
So you're carrying on with the family tradition.
Yeah, true. Very
wonderful. Well, ladies and gentlemen, any questions from our audience?
From the audience?
Good morning. I have a question.
One at a time, please. If you can, raise your hand.
Video on. Video is not on.
Video is
My
on.
video is not on?
No. Nirmala ji, can you switch on the video for everybody, please?
Yeah.
I can see. My video is on.
Captain Narasimha has got a question. Captain Narasimha, please go ahead with your question.
Namaste, ma'am.
Namaste. Namaste, Captain Ji.
No, I'm Dr. Captain Narasimha. I was a part of the IPKF when we were there in Sri Lanka. So I could relate to all the women who are fighting the examples which you gave. my question to you is, what made you take a transition from being a financial biscuit to the Harikatha expert? You were first in All India CA, then...
I think, Captain, it is God's will. If I can ask you, Captain, what made you choose getting onto the ground rather than working in the AC office? What would you answer, Captain?
No, it was a call of duty.
That God's will, Captain. It's all totally God's will. So just like you all have so much of sacrifice you all have put in. This is nothing. This is 0.001%.
I got two questions. One is, you got the school starting with Harikatha where thing. The basic thing, are you also teaching them music? Because one of the important aspect of is the knowledge of music when they give the Harikatha. For example, when we come to listen to you, we listen to a lot of kritis and you explain it in. Is that being taught to children? Secondly,
yes.
Guru Lalgudi. Can I ask now?
Yes. Yeah, I have a lot of students learning music also, and Harikatha also. So as you rightly pointed out, for Harikatha, music is a very important component, and I think it is that which relates easily. So the stories and the music and the Sanskrit part. So we have different faculty teaching different subjects also. Meanwhile, I also take the whole of the Harikatha part. Along with music, the Harikatha and the Sanskrit, the advanced students come to me. That's how right now it's running.
Can I ask the second question about your first Guru Lalgudi ji, the great?
Sure.
Of course, you've got the photogenic memory of his. I can make out from all the things and all the concerts I attended. You have got his photogenic memory. One of the important aspects which I don't see people talking, when a lot of violinists accompany the main artist, they are accompanists. In my view, when Lalgudi sits next to Mother Mani or Mother Somu or Samangudi, he is not an accompanist, he's a co-artist. What is your view?
He has been accompanying so many. He had accompanied GNB sir, Madhuramani, so many people. All of them he has in fact accompanied 5 generations of artists. So after that, it was his decision to do the solo. So you can even hear the recordings of Lalgudi sir playing for Madhuramani, GNB, and all of them. My
question is slightly different. When you talk about any other violinist, I don't want to take out the name, they are the accompanist for the main artist. When Lalgudi sir is playing with the main artist, be it Mani or GNB or Singh, he's not an accompanist, he's a co-artist. He also like that is a because he will follow him, following it. What is your view?
Very true. Correct. I got the point. Sachis is playing such a great violin maestro he is that people come to listen to him rather than the main artist sometimes.
Thank you.
Very true. Thank you.
Any further questions from anyone?
Wants to ask Ravi.
Yeah.
Ravi, yes, go ahead.
Hello. Your school is after.
Ma'am,
good morning. My name is Wing Commander Ravi Shankar. Whenever we heard your pravachanams on Srimad Bhagavatam or Valmiki Ramayanam or Bhagavad Gita, we didn't have to feel guilty about this because we knew it was a specialist knowledge that you had acquired. But today, you spoke so much about our freedom fighters, and you had also given us the honor of being the Mahanubhavalu here. But then yet today, what I feel is we feel guilty of not knowing any of these stories from before. Wanted to know, you are the Mahanubhava. You are the Mahanubhava. You opened your eyes to this. So what prompted you to, write those stories about those Mahanubhavas? Can you please give me your inspiration for this,
ma'am? My Guru has written all these stories, all the 103 stories. I just translated it along with my Guru's devotee, Srimati Kausalya Veeravalli. He has collected all these stories and written this Sati Vijayam. The book that I have written is just an English translation of that, just adding some points here and there.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you. You opened your eyes to something very new that you had not known from before. Thank you.
Thank you. To get that comment from the armed forces is such a great pleasure to me. Such a great
This
honor.
is Rajan.
Major Raghavan has got a question. Who else? Major Raghavan, sir, your question.
Major Raghavan? Jai Hind.
Good evening. Two things. One is, the good old days, I heard Balakrishna Sastrigal, Bunny Boy, a number of them. But if you talk about Harikatha now, the only name which comes to everyone's mind is you. The one thing is, it's people do not take it up like Carnatic music. You find, the number of singers you can rattle out, but Harikatha is only one, and it's purely by your own talent. Now
we have
is that so?
many Major G. Now we have many Vijayashri School of Harikatha. If you can log into the YouTube, you can see the Sishya series. They're all doing much better than me. So there are many. We are going to do a Saptaha Malika also. Seven of them are going to perform for the Krishna Jayanti.
Second thing is, if a person cannot sing for nuts, can he do Harikatha? If a person is not capable of singing, can he do Harikatha?
A good question, Major Ji. Actually, Harikatha needs music. So basically speaking, definitely Harikatha's very, very important component is Kirtana singing, Kritis, bhajans. But if he's not able to sing, then it can be a normal lecture or an upanyasa if he has a lot of information to share with the world. It can be, there are so many other art forms. Upanyasa, Sangeeta Upanyasa is different. Upanyasam is different. A discourse is different. Lecture is different.
One more thing. How much of a chartered accountancy are you practicing now?
No, zero. Right from I got the All India first in the direct taxes and All India third in the whole of India for CA. Right from that time, zero.
What about your son?
My son is doing the 8th standard in CBSE, but he's a big fan of all the armed forces. So he's really sitting so excited, super excited to see all the majors and do a namaskaram to all the majors and the wing commanders, air marshals, and all of you, because you're all the real heroes. So he's grown up watching Rani Jhansi Bai serials, Nana Pratap Ji serials, all Deshabhaktas, Chhatrapati Shivaji serials. So we don't have TV at home. The only break that we take is a half an hour of a Jhansi Bai or a half an hour of Chhatrapati Shivaji or a half an hour of Rana Pratap Singh. So having grown like that, he said, today I will sit next to you and watch all the marshals and major commanders and do a Jai Hind.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Good luck to you.
This is Rajan. Please unmute.
We can hear you, sir.
No. Yeah, now you can speak.
And I want to thank you for taking us on an exquisite journey today. And I hope the COVID situation will improve and one day we'll see you live performing for all of us here in Chennai.
Definitely, that will be my dream come true completely.
Thank you so much. And my one question to you is, from what age did you train under Lalgudi Ji Jayarandan Ji?
From my 9th standard, Ji. From my 9th standard, that is maybe 13, 14 years.
Oh, Trichy only?
No, I was in Chennai. After marriage only, I'm based in Sri Lanka.
Oh.
Like what Major Harshvardhan Ji said, wing commander.
Okay. Oh, that's very nice. That's very nice.
Pramila ma'am, please ask a question. Pramila ma'am.
More than a question, I want to thank you first for a lovely, mesmerizing morning. I've always been watching all your Harikathas live. And you might be wondering why I'm sitting here with all the veterans. I happen to be the wife of a late veteran. And
sorry. I just thanked you all and did a huge namaskaram during the lecture. I said not only the armed forces, but the whole family sacrifices when an armed soldier gets into the ground.
I'm a happy member of the Armed Forces Veteran Officers Association.
Yeah,
it's like a family to us. And what I want to ask you is that lovely book available on Kindle?
Okay, we have to republish it. As soon as we republish, I'll be the first one to give you a notice regarding this. The hard copy.
Yeah, I'm not able to hold books. I've got compromised wrists.
Okay,
So
we will do it. We will do it soon. We will do it.
Thank you very much. Wonderful morning. Wonderful.
Okay, Harshvardhan.
Harsha, can I ask a question, please?
Yes, ma'am, please ask the question.
Vishakha ji, thank you very much for a wonderful handling of a very contemporary subject. I mean, it's not Mahabharata, Ramayana, it's a very contemporary subject, and you did it with great elan. And my request, it's not a question, but I just want to present a request to you. I've seen you give talks in colleges and schools about national spirit and things like that. Maybe with all your children, they, besides the spiritual and traditional and cultural knowledge they have, they need to build themselves physically as well as with some discipline. Maybe you could propagate the fact that they can join NCC as well, so we have a wholesome new generation for the future, which will be an asset to our country, actually.
Very true, Ji. Very true. 100% true.
And I hope you'll carry this mission because of all the good things you're doing with the young children and with the next generation. I'm sure you'll be able to create a bigger impact when, and your son could join the NCC as well. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you so much. That's a wonderful suggestion.
I think with that, we have finished all the questions from our veterans. And now, once again, I wish to thank you. It's been a wonderful morning. Now it's back to our Marshal Vartaman. Varta sir, back to you.
Harshvardhan, I would like to ask a question, please.
1 minute. Yes. Yes, ma'am. Please go ahead. One last question, Vishakha ji.
Sure.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
I was not able to get you. I am Sarva Chandrasekhar, wife of a brigadier and mother of a serving general and mother-in-law of a naval officer.
Oh, that is really...
So I'm very proud to be like the same in the armed forces. Even I think next gen, at the Janma Eduthala, I think I don't mind becoming an army officer. Army defense. I just wanted to know, because we are staying in defense colony. A lot of senior citizens and all the thing would like to see it and all. Is it possible, like in the YouTube, or one time we can not even the veterans, other ladies are quite senior ladies are the senior citizens. They would all like to have a same this Zoom meeting. Can we have that also along with the defense?
Sure. It's always a pleasure to do it for you.
Okay, thank you so much. And really lovely program we had, and looking forward for more. Is your son going to follow your footsteps?
Yes, he is already training in Harikatha in music and giving upanyasans. So he's training, and soon with all your blessings, he should shine like his like my father-in-law, like his grandfather, like his father.
He looks very shrewd because looking at it and then listening everything. I can see his face from beginning. So wish you all the best. Bye.
Your blessings, all your blessings required.
Thank you so much for the lovely program. Thank you.
Varta sir, back to you.
Yeah. Oh, wow, what a morning we have spent. Tremendous. You really transported us to a completely different level. Before I speak about you, I must speak about your son. I'm going to corrupt him a little. Is Tanjavur close by? Ask him. Tanjavur is probably 60-70 kilometers from Srirangam.
Yes, Tanjavur is close by. Yes.
So I promise you that when this pandemic clears, I will come there. I'll take him to Tanjavur, where he can see the Sukhoi 30 squadron, one of the best aircraft that we have in our country. And I will take him, I will show him, and maybe I'll corrupt him a little and put him towards.
That's not corrupting. That's say thank you.
And he has your spirit. He is a one-man army. So no problem.
You've been looking forward to that.
Yes, indeed. And, I normally don't say these things. When I was commanding an air base in the western sector, when we were very close to war, it was called Operation Parakram. We were very close to war and we were ready for almost a year. And at that time, I met a lady like you. And she was a poet in that town, nearby town. She was a poet. We just happened to meet her and she spoke just like you. So what I did was, and we were told it was going to start in a few days and all the war. So I called that lady. I said, please come to my station. So I brought her to my station and I called all the men. We were about 1,500 of us. Okay, I assembled them and I told her, I requested her to sing for us, to speak for us. And I tell you, the way she inspired us, we said we will defeat anybody, And, so we must take you to all these stations and inspire our soldiers. I mean, tremendous, tremendous. I'm so very proud that we have such women in our nation. When I say you symbolized Mother India. We wish you the very, very, very best. God bless you. May you inspire more and more people of our nation, and may we achieve all the dreams of our nation. May we conquer the world, and may we all live in peace thereafter. Thank you very, very much. And may I request them to unmute, please? I think all are muted. Yeah. And on behalf of all of us, the very best to your son. And I like the salute of his. It's a very nice salute. Huh?
Nirmalaji, can you please unmute everybody?
Yes. And
let's stand up and salute to all of you.
Amazing.
Has come.
So when I come to Sri Rangam, I will get one uniform for you. Okay, that is our gift. You're almost a soldier. So thank you very much, Miss Vishakha. And God bless you. You have really transported us. And wonderful morning. Thank you. And Jai Hind.
Jai Hind. Jai Hind.